Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be performing an unboxing, installation configuration, power options, and memory card selections for a VIOFO A129 Pro Duo 2-channel camera bundle, which includes a 4K ultra high definition front camera and a full high definition 1080p rear camera. I will be comparing the footage captured by this bundle's front camera, which is 4K ultra high definition, with an A129 Duo, which is a camera bundle that has a 1080p full high definition front camera and a 1080p full high definition rear camera. In fact, both the A129 Duo and the A129 Pro Duo both include the same type of camera in the rear. So that's why I will only be comparing the front camera video footage. If you want to check out the installation of that camera into a Kia Soul and check out the rear camera footage comparison or quality, check out the link in the upper right hand corner down in the description section of this video. I did purchase this camera with my own funds from blackboxmycar.com. I am an affiliate for blackboxmycar.com, so if you're interested in purchasing this camera, check out the link down in the description section. And if you do purchase the camera using the link or the discount code that I have where you'd be able to save 5% on your purchase over $250, I will receive a commission, but at no extra charge to you. So let's start checking out some footage captured by the 4K front camera. This is a random event that took place in front of our car one day where some horses got loose, but this is from the 4K ultra high definition 30 frames per second setting on the A129 Pro front camera. In just a moment, we'll show you the 1080p version of this video. I just wanted to see the crispness of this, although it will be reduced since it is being rendered at 1080p for YouTube. And here's the video footage of that same event from the A129 Duo front camera, which is a full high definition 1080p capable camera at 30 frames per second. And it's also pretty good, but when you view the 4K video in person, the clarity is much better. We'll do some comparison of some street signs a little bit later in this video so you can see the difference. Here's the front of the VIOFO A129 Pro Duo camera bundle. Of course, this is a dual channel offering. There is a single channel offering, just won't have the Duo in the product name. And on the rear, we have the specifications. Again, the front camera being an ultra high definition 4K capable front camera and at 30 frames per second, and the full high definition rear camera at 30 frames per second. The Sony Exmor-R sensor for 8 megapixel front, which gives you true 4K video, and then there's a 2 megapixel rear sensor. Of course, you have super night vision, G sensor for detecting motion and when a impact occurs to the vehicle. You can use up to 256 gigabyte micro SD cards. The device includes Wi-Fi support in the front camera for 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi networks, and provides a VIOFO application for iOS and Android phones. For parking mode support, if you take advantage of that in this camera, it does have a buffered parking mode if you use the impact or motion options for parking mode. Of course, you do have the option of time-lapse video as well for parking mode support. There is an optional Bluetooth remote, which is used to trigger the manual recording mode, but I do not have that in this particular video, but that is an option you can purchase as well. And we also have the GPS logger, which is listed as optional, but is included in this particular bundle. It records the GPS location of the vehicle and date and time information. Now you can see the 2 micro SD cards involved in this particular camera bundle. The 32 gigabyte on the right was included as a freebie in the blackboxmycar.com purchase that I made. It depends on the particular promotion at the time, but it was free, so I chose that. And then I ended up purchasing separately from Amazon.com the SanDisk high endurance 120 gigabyte micro SD card. I will have a link down in the description section of this video as an affiliate link to the Amazon site, so you can go ahead and purchase that. I've had very good luck with those cards, but you can make a choice of your own at the time of purchase. Get one that's a quality name brand micro SD card to use with this camera. This product does include a power port adapter if you wish to power the camera simply while the vehicle is on, but since I want to take advantage of the parking mode feature in this camera, I selected the 3-wire VIOFO hardwiring power option during the purchase from blackboxmycar.com, and then I also thought I might want to potentially add this to a vehicle that has an external battery pack to support parking mode support, and that's what the cable is on the left there. To help reduce the glare from the windshield, I did purchase the circular polarizing lens filter, and I think it's well worth it. It does cut down on a lot of the glare that you get from the windshield or the dash in the vehicle. Let's take a look at the product diagram from the VIOFO A129 Pro user manual. This will give you an idea where the various buttons and memory card slots and all the various features are accessed through the various components in the bundle. There are a series of buttons on the front of the camera that have a different meaning depending which operating mode the camera is in at that point in time. So let's switch to the definition of those 4 different operating modes. The camera normally operates in recording mode, so on the lower left you'll see the function of the particular buttons based on the recording mode. You want to press the record button to stop it from recording before some of the other modes are accessible, such as the menu mode is not accessible unless you take it out of recording mode and put it into standby mode, which is defined in the upper left-hand portion of that screen. So check out this page to make sure you're familiar with the various functions of those buttons and the various operating modes. And here's a view of the other side of the camera with the recessed reset button, the memory card slot, and the microphone for the audio from within the vehicle, and then the 3 status indicators at the base of the LCD screen. And on the other side of the camera, we have the GPS logger module already attached to the camera. The USB power port at the top can be used to power the camera, or the USB port on the camera, either one is fine. The double-sided tape is on the GPS logger module to attach it to the front windshield, and then of course the camera lens at the bottom. This is the optional rear camera, which is included in the Duo version of the bundle. You can purchase a version of the A129 Pro camera without it. It includes the connector port at the top for the power in and the video out to the front camera, and of course the adjustable lens at the bottom, and it does have the capability of having a circular polarizing lens filter attached to it, but I've not found it to be necessary on the rear camera. Here's an optional product not included in the bundle, must be purchased separately. It's a Bluetooth remote control which allows you to press the button in case of an incident taking place in which you like to retain that particular video file so it does not get overwritten. That way you don't have to reach up to the camera and try to press the button while you're driving. I'm now going to explain how to toggle the video compression algorithm used by the video camera between H.264, which has been the traditional compression algorithm for video files on most video cameras up till this point in time when 4K cameras came on the market, and the need to compress the 4K video files was necessary to save space on the microSD cards. A new compression algorithm of H.265 or high efficiency video coding or HEVC is available, but it's not well documented in the user manual. So to toggle between H.264, which is the default, to H.265, you take the camera out of record mode, and it beeps like that when it's not recording, as it doesn't have the record indicator up there, and then you long press the microphone button, and you will see that it changes the icon state to that on the one on the left, which is a micro SD card with a down arrow. That indicates that the camera is now configured to use the H.265 compression algorithm. H.265 compression algorithm used with the 4K video file will compress the video file without losing any quality to about the same size as a 1080p full high definition video file from the past. If you do have any compatibility problems with H.265 on your computer, you may need to return the configuration to H.264 for compatibility on other devices. It also will require additional processing resources on the camera, so it may produce a bit more heat. So if you have any heat issues or compatibility requirements on other systems or other devices viewing the video files, make sure you toggle it back to H.264. But again, look for the icon on the left here to indicate that it is in H.265, and if that icon is not present, it's in H.264. I've taken the outer sleeve off and the top of the box off, so we can see the front camera is located here with the rear camera, so let's take this out. And we have the plastic covering, and then of course the camera, and then the GPS module is already included on this one, and a protective cover over the lens. And there's a protective cover over this screen as well. So let's move that off to the side. And we've got the rear camera, which is again the full high definition 1080p capable camera in this particular bundle. We have the adhesive mount, and we have a protective film that we'll remove for this particular rear camera. And let's remove the foam padding. We have our manuals and hello card as well. And at the very bottom we have all the other goodies that come with this particular camera bundle. And the first thing on the top here is the spare adhesive mounts, which you would need if you need to move the camera or you are replacing a windshield due to like a crack in the windshield. These are great to have as spares. We have a data USB cable to connect to a computer. And we have a power cord here. I've removed the power port adapter, so we'll convert it from 12 volt power in the vehicle to the 5 volt USB power. And then we have a power cord that will go from a USB adapter such as this to the connector on the GPS mount or on the camera itself. A very lengthy cord, so you can run this to an appropriate power port in your vehicle. Now with this type of power supply, you can only drive the camera with standard mode. There's no parking mode support in this particular configuration because there's not a switched power supply being supplied while the vehicle is off in that particular case. I'll show you what I did to support parking mode in just a moment. And we have the video cable that goes from the rear to front camera. Here's a little tag showing that the 90-degree version of the connector goes to the front camera, and then this goes to the rear camera. And then you run this through your vehicle underneath the various trim panels, avoiding all airbags if at all possible. And if not able to avoid airbags, make sure you put them underneath so that the airbag is not in any way hindered from deploying correctly. And you can see that when I install that into a 2017 Kia Soul, where I take a 129 Duo bundle, which is not the 4K version of this, but it's the same basic package, and I install that into a Kia Soul. So I'll put a info card up on the corner up here of the screen so you can go take a look at that installation, and that should be the same exact process for this particular installation as well. And we have the clip adhesive mounts to route the cable, usually near the windows, if you have up by the front windshield or the rear window for the rear camera. And the Pro Duo bundle includes a USB micro SD card reader, which is not supplied in the non-Pro version. And then of course we have the trim tool that's supplied in the box that helps you install the various cabling. So those are the items that are included in the box. Now let's switch over to the additional items that I purchased along with the camera to help the installation of this particular model. Here are the 3 different power configuration options that I have available to power the A129 Pro Duo camera bundle. First one is the one that came with the camera itself, and it has a power port adapter and a USB cable to supply the power from the power port adapter to the camera. So let's look a little bit closer at this particular configuration option. This was a $15 extra charge in the purchase of the camera bundle when I ordered this from blackboxmycar.com. So in this particular case, it has 3 wires. Again, the battery supply here, which is constant power, the switch power, and then ground. And again, the power, this converts it down to 5 volts, and then it has the monitoring feature for making sure the car's battery doesn't go below that minimum value. It has the slide switch on the edge to go to one of these 4 positions, depending on what your comfort level it is. I tend to put it at 12.2 in my comfort level. So that's the option, and it was again $15 to get that while purchasing the camera. And then I thought about it. I'm actually going to be taking the A129 Duo camera from the Kia Soul and moving it into a second vehicle. And I was going to utilize a battery pack that I have available to me from another vehicle I pulled the camera out of. And this is the same basic configuration. It looks pretty much the same up to this point as what we were just looking at. But in addition to that, we have this additional spliced in cabling, which is useful in connecting to a battery pack. Now I have a Cell-Link B, which is an older battery pack available, and now there's a Cell-Link Neo available. So it looks much different than this. I have another one that looks more similar to the Cell-Link Neo. But basically, this battery pack will supply the switched and unswitched power as well, and this connector will then plug into it like that. So I don't have to tap into a fuse panel. I just have to do the appropriate wiring for the Cell-Link battery pack to be installed correctly in the vehicle. So this is the option I'm going with when I move the camera from the Kia Soul over to my other vehicle, my Chevrolet SSR pickup. So that was the option that I picked for solving that particular situation. And the cabling for this was $35. Instead of the $15 while purchasing it, I made this as a separate purchase. So it's a spliced 3-wire configuration with this connector on the end of it. Now this same connector will plug into a different battery pack that I have as well. I have a Blackview battery pack, the B-124X. It has a similar connector on it as well. Let's see if we can get that in view there. And it has the same pin out as far as power, ground, and everything, so it plugs into that as well. So either one of these will be able to supply power to that camera. So if you're going to be supporting parking mode and you want to use extended parking mode, as far as extended times, you want to look at a battery pack for supporting that, because the vehicle's battery may be drained earlier than you would like as far as parking mode support. Although in our Kia Soul, the A129 Duo, not the Pro version, is able to support parking mode for well over 8 hours at a time without cutting off the power to the camera. It just depends on the overall battery health in your vehicle. And so you go ahead and make sure you choose the right option for your particular configuration. And if you do want to support parking mode, you do have to have one of the 3-wire power adapters for the VIOFO camera. So let's move on to the next section. Now let's compare some of the daylight captured footage for the two different cameras with the A129 Pro 4K video on the top side of the screen. Now we're going to zoom in on a speed limit sign here, and at 100% resolution on the 4K video, it's pretty good clarity. The 1080p video on the bottom, I had to zoom to 200% to get the same size, but the clarity is not quite as good as you would expect. Color reproduction, I tend to prefer the colors captured by the 1080p older A129 video camera, and that seems to hold throughout daylight and nighttime hours. Now we're taking a look at some time-lapse footage from parking mode. I've configured both cameras to operate in parking mode with time-lapse configuration of 2 frames per second. Both seem to get pretty decent clarity, and they were facing away from the sun, so there's no real difference in the color saturation or anything. Both look pretty good. Now we're taking a look at some nighttime capture footage from the two cameras, and the A129 Pro 4K footage on the top. I actually don't like the footage compared to the older A129 1080p footage. The clarity is a bit better at nighttime with the older camera, which is a bit surprising to me. As we zoom in on a speed limit sign on the right here, you can see that neither of them really capture a clear image of that. So nighttime footage is not as clear as I was hoping with the A129 Pro. But overall, at least it does capture the overall events taking place, but again, I prefer the 1080p footage from the older A129 camera. So after testing this camera for a week or so in the vehicle, I do like the video produced during the daytime. The nighttime footage from the A129 Pro front camera is a bit disappointing in my opinion. So if you're really looking for some quality footage, as far as higher resolution, go ahead and get the 4K version, which is the A129 Pro version of the Duo bundle. But if you're looking for a mid-range price camera that's fairly inexpensive and 2-channel offering from VIOFO or any other company, go ahead and take a look at the VIOFO A129 Duo, which is 1080p front and rear cameras, and I have a video of that installation on my channel. So if you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them down in the comment section, and check out that description section for the links to blackboxmycar.com, where I am an affiliate. So if you use my link, I will get a commission off that at no additional cost to you. And make sure you check out the discount code in the description section as well to save you 5% off your purchase at blackboxmycar.com for any purchase over $250. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked the content, learned something new in this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so and hit that bell notification to be notified when I upload new videos to the channel. Thanks again. See you in the next one.